Welcome back to FUTV United TV, everybody. I'm Adam. We are live. We are talking after last night's performance at Molineux. Manchester United getting the 4-1 win. But were Ruben Amorim's words after the game probably more important than the win, which was vital, by the way, and we'll get into that. But Ruben Amorim talking after that game last night was being very grounded, and obviously we got the same line. We move on to the next one, as it always is. We got updates on the AFCON situation and what's happening this week with our AFCON players. Ruben Amorim's thoughts and words after that Wolves game. Has he finally seen the light? Could his words actually be, well, could they actually be really encouraging for Manchester United fans after what he said after the win last night, in that Manchester United need to change? We'll look into the detail of what he said and we'll get your thoughts on this in the live chat as well. We'll bring you up to date with all of the other thoughts and news around Manchester United as we head into another big Premier League weekend. If you haven't had a chance to look yet, go and have a look at the fixtures this weekend around the Premier League. So many of Manchester United's rivals and teams in and around us playing each other. A very, very big opportunity for Manchester United again. This is where I think the convincer needs to come. Are you going to back it up at Old Trafford? Currently, Manchester United's away form is better than their home form. Check that out. The last 5 games, Manchester United are unbeaten away from home, averaging over 2 goals a game. Where did that come from, by the way? And that's a stat that's gone under the radar as well. We're talking last night, Manchester United this season. Well, look, we're the 3rd highest goal scorers in the league. There's a lot of positives in that league table. The league is mixed match and it is all over the place this season. It really is, isn't it? But if Manchester United had managed to beat a 10-man Everton and beat a shocking relegation-threatened West Ham side at Old Trafford, we would be 2 points off Arsenal right now and in a title race if you're looking at the league table. That's how crazy this league is this season. An opportunity, or is it just a bit of a, let's just call it well, it's not a realistic look as to where Manchester United are in the way that we're playing. This is where the fan base is at the moment. It's a little bit mixed up, but we'll get into what Ruben said first of all, and we'll talk about that because I think that is important after the game last night as well. Look, I said it in my review after the game. I said it in a watch-along last night. It was Wolves, and I said throughout the week, we will beat Wolves. They are absolutely appalling, and they proved it again. In fact, their manager, Rob Edwards, was saying last night that it was like school. It was like a school team, the way that they were playing. In his words, gifting Manchester United 3 goals. Now, they haven't conceded 4 goals in any of the previous 5 games, Wolves, and weren't beaten badly, but Manchester United took them to task last night and demolished them. Where is that sort of conviction and ruthlessness in Manchester United's game throughout the season is what a lot of Manchester United fans will say. Very, very grounded response from Manchester United's fan base last night, and I think it's fair. I really do. I put a poll up this morning as to how you're feeling and what your what your thoughts are at the moment. What is your vibe? What are you feeling after last night's win? Reds impressed? Still not convinced? Not impressed? I mean, it's pretty much the same, really. There, not impressed at all. Still not convinced. I mean, there's some people in that still not convinced camp there, which are pretty much saying good win, expected win. Now go and show me again if you can do that against Bournemouth. Can you do it against the bigger sides coming up right now? And I think that's fair. That is completely fair with where we're at. But more importantly, Manchester United moving forward, Ruben Amorim and what he said last night. This is what he said about Manchester United in terms of the game itself, how we play. We need to improve the way we play. I think we need to find a different way to play sometimes. We are thinking about that and working on that. Working on that in training, thinking about it in games, trying to change it up. Manchester United last night were very, very comfortable against a poor side, obviously. But going into these next few games, these 3 difficult games, Bournemouth, Villa and Newcastle next for United, you are coming up against a different opposition. And sometimes if you do let off, like Ruben said, he was very, very angry, I think, at half-time, as were most of the Man United fan base last night. If you're coming up against the Newcastles and Villas of this world, and you have that 10 to 15 minute spell at the end of that first half that you did against Wolves, it's game over. They will absolutely destroy you. They've got better players, more accomplished players, and they will hurt Manchester United badly. That's the concern. Whereas, yes, we got 4 and we conceded the 1. It was a comfortable win in the end. You've seen how poor Wolves were. And I think Ruben, in what he was saying after the game last night, was I feel, probably on point. I think it was right in how he approached what happened in the game. I think it was right in what he said, in that he wasn't getting carried away, but we had a good reaction. He really enjoyed the second half. But this is also something that he said here, which is the concerning factor, which all Man United fans have got to think as well. Once again, after we score a goal, we were a little bit sloppy on the ball. Give opponents confidence at halftime. They understand they have everything to win the game. This is a specific case. We face a team who is really struggling. Grounded. And one thing I cannot argue with Ruben Amorim is he never gets carried away with his wins. He is the same in wins as he is in defeats. And I think that's probably a good trait, because the position Manchester United are in right now, no one's getting carried away after beating Wolves. And Ruben said it there. He's clearly pointing out what everyone else is watching. And I said it last night. I said, there's no way that Ruben Amorim told Manchester United to go out and pummel Wolves for 30 minutes and then just let them in for 15 at the end of that half. Ruben's not give that instruction. That's on the players. That's on the mentality. Ruben Amorim should have seen his side 3-0 up before Wolves have even had their first shot on target, which, by the way, was the only shot on target, and it bleeding went in. Typical Manchester United again there. But that there, I think, is where I think we can actually say Ruben got that bang on after the game there. He's still not convinced himself. He has to find a different way to play, and he's working on that. So hopefully that is a good sign for Manchester United going forward, because we cannot continue, like I said, in the bigger games that Manchester United have got, we cannot continue to play the way we did at the back end of that first half. Otherwise, and yes, you could say it's only 15 minutes. Look at what happened in the second half. Manchester United dominated. We got the response. Good. Fine. It is what Manchester United players should be doing. Let's remember that. I think what would happen in against Newcastle, in that 10 to 15 minute spell, they might concede 2 goals instead of 1, and then the game's gone. The momentum has completely shifted, and United are really struggling then, because teams can then play on the counter-attack. And teams like Newcastle, Bournemouth and Aston Villa, with the forward lines that they have got, will punish United when they get possession of the ball. Wolves didn't stand the chance last night. They are absolutely pathetic. They really are, as a Premier League side. They're already relegated. So when you look at the errors that we had last night, and I went in on Brian Mbeumo, and you know what? I had a word with him at half-time, and he came out and he was better in the second half. I'm sure you all see my tweet and what I said in the watch-along last night. He gave the ball away twice in 2 crucial attacking positions, which cost Manchester United possession and gave Wolves an opening. I was talking about that and saying that was the moment when Wolves really picked up momentum. And for one of Man United's better players to do that was really disappointing. And was concerning as well at the same time. And I think Ruben is alluding to that. He's saying them moments again, we allowed Wolves back into the game. And they can talk about it all they want, like they had a good finish to the first half, Wolves. United allowed them to have that by allowing themselves to get dragged into that little bit of a championship level dogfight. And we ended up conceding from something stupid, because we weren't clinical enough in our defending, we weren't aggressive enough in our defending, but we just lost full concentration. So I get what Ruben's saying. I totally get where he's at with that. And I do believe that Manchester United now are learning from that, hopefully. Oh, sorry, no, we're not learning from that. Hopefully we will learn from that going into these bigger games. Concentration levels need to be on for 90 plus minutes for Manchester United. Otherwise, we are just going to get punished and punished and punished. Wolves have not scored a goal in the Premier League for 5 straight league games. And then Man United roll into town, and we're going in at 1-1 at half-time, and you're thinking, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on with Man United again? And everybody thought the worst. But luckily, like Mason Mount said in his post-match interview, Ruben Amorim did have a few choice words with the players. I'm guessing there were some very strong words said at half-time, because United did come out in the second half, to their credit, and absolutely take Wolves apart. They did. And everybody saw what happened in that second half. The 27 shots, for God's sake. for Manchester United. We should have had at least 6 or 7 goals in that game. That's how gilt-edged the chances were for United. We should have had so much more. And that was good to see, and it was refreshing. And that's where we leave it. Because it was Wolves. They were poor. Ruben's comments about finding a different way to play is probably the most important thing to take from that game. Yes, the league table looks a little bit better, being in 6th place and a point off top 4. And like I said, all of them games coming up this weekend that might open up a chance for Manchester United to yet again crawl their way into that top 4. And I said this last night, actually, just to round it off, because I want to come into the comment section right now. This is a knife-edge season. It goes one way, then it goes the other. You can completely fall off a cliff and go right down the bottom half of the table, or you can catapult yourself right up to the top. Look what Aston Villa did. We've got Aston Villa and Crystal Palace in the top 4 at the moment. That should tell you everything. No disrespect to them two sides, but the league is a weird one. Seeing the likes of Newcastle, Liverpool, Spurs, all bottom half of the table as well. Chelsea still not in the top 4 either at the moment. It's a crazy one. And anything can happen this Premier League season. I said it at the top of the show. If United had have won 2 straightforward home games, which we always win, then we would have been 2 points behind Arsenal. And you're talking a completely different game altogether. It is, and this team that we have got right now, that we have completely slaughtered, criticised and gone in on big time, could have literally been 2nd place in the league. It's crazy, isn't it? It is. But the stats are there, the league table is there, United are there for a reason. We're 6 points better off than what we was last season. We've already got 8 more goals than what we had this time last season as well. Don't forget, Manchester United scored 44 goals in the entirety of last season. We're now 3rd highest goal scorers in this league with 26 goals after 15 games. The investment that Manchester United made recruitment-wise is working in certain parts for the season for us. The only reason we are where we are is because we bought better players up front that can find the back of the net. Bryan Mbeumo now on 7 goals. 5th highest goal scorer in the Premier League this season. When has that ever happened? Mason Mount's form for Manchester United coming in has been an absolute godsend. And he deserved every single bit of praise that he got last night because he was Man United's best player. And Bruno is always going to do what Bruno does. When we get Sesko and Cunha fully firing on that goal front, United might even be more of a threat. AFCON will derail us, and it's how we react from AFCON. I think that's going to be important for Manchester United's season. We're going to get into a bit more detail on certain players in a moment as well in the chat. But overall thoughts, everybody, get into that live chat and let me know what you're thinking right now. How is everybody in terms of the poll? Still not convinced is 69%. And that is exactly where I am as well. And that is fair. Manchester United have done nothing yet to convince this fan base that they have turned that, impossible corner, let's call it, because it's going to happen again. On Monday night, Manchester United will have the 5th opportunity to jump into the top 4 and Champions League places. That is going to be there for Man United this weekend. You can almost guarantee it with the games that are coming up. The fact that City are away to Palace, 2nd against 4th. It's crazy. You've got Chelsea who are playing, I can't remember who Chelsea are actually playing out now. Was it Everton? I think it is Everton as well. So that's 5th against 7th. You've got the time-where derby that's going to stop Newcastle or Sunderland moving. Brighton versus Liverpool, 2 other teams going to stop them moving. Also, Manchester United playing Bournemouth at home with the form that they're in. The carrot is being dangled again. I'm going to be sat in Old Trafford, giving my review again, and hopefully not saying exactly the same thing as I was in the last 2 games against Everton and West Ham. Let's get into the chat. I've said enough there on that. Give me your thoughts, everybody. I don't get the Gallagher, Stella, or other non-elite midfielder in January talk. Mount has a run of games in now and can cover Sesko or Bruno. So where would an attacking mid fit in? Who do they replace? This is the thing with the midfield dilemma and the transfers coming in. It's all going to be down to players that are going to make Man United better. Can United get them players? That's always been the question, and every single journalist has said exactly the same thing. Hope I'm proved wrong. I can't see United getting their top targets in January. We will see. The outgoing situation is going to probably be more important. Am I not getting excited by the win? Wolves are awful. In 50 years of watching United, this is the worst football I've seen. Hate changing managers, but he has to go 4-1 up. Surely Lacey should get 10 minutes. I think the other first team players are more important, but that was the only blotch really. I thought Shea Lacey could have come on. Thought we could have given him a bit of game time. I sort of agree with that one. Well, this group of players got battered by Grimsby, so this, for me, is a step in the right direction. A small confirmation one, but it's still a nice little win, Nats. Look, you've got to be happy with a win, and everyone is happy with a win. But I knew it last night, looking on social media, reactions to my video, reactions to the watch-along, and again, like seen in the live chat this morning, there is no Manchester United fan that thinks that Manchester United are there and this is it. Everyone beats Wolves. We have to stay grounded and remember that. Don't get carried away by that one result. And the biggest positive is what Ruben said. And you have to say that. This is the guy that knows he is failing Manchester United. He knows it. He's not getting carried away by wins. And this is how Rúben Amorim, I think, sort of adheres himself to some of the fan base as well. And sort of gets a little bit of a... not a free ride, it's not the right way of putting it, but it's the only way I can sort of describe it right now. The way he talks, he sort of suckers you in a little bit. And he has done with me, I'll openly admit that. But then again, I had a real big problem with Ten Hag trying to pull the wool over fans' eyes and tell us that things were happening that just weren't on that pitch. Ruben says it as he sees it at least, and he has got that. But talk is cheap. Results are paramount. And right now, Manchester United are treading water comfortably in terms of them results. Are we going to the next level? Well, that's down to Rúben Amorim and changing his system with the players that he's got. And that's always been the question and the debate amongst this fan base. Has he got that in him? With what he said last night in finding a different way to play, and we're working on that, you never know. I'm not getting my hopes up, but at least there is an acceptance from this Manchester United coaching team and from Ruben that this is still nowhere near good enough for Manchester United. This has to be remembered. So I'll lead with that. A few more chats in, a few super chats in as well. Thank you very much for everybody who has super chatted. Ray, first of all, thank you, mate. Adam, there is improvement, but they've been up and down. Last night was an up. I take it. Well said, Ray. It's definitely that. Brian says, Wolves are the single worst opponents from any division I have seen us play in my 36 years as a United fan. I'm sorry, but we were terrible last night. I don't think we were terrible, Brian. We cannot use the word terrible, surely. Look, I'm understanding that you're not convinced yet, and it is Wolves. I said it myself. They were awful. And you're right. In terms of the Premier League teams, this is the worst Premier League team I've seen. And we're going into Southampton last season here as well. This team was worse than Southampton. And they were pushing the boundaries of worst in Premier League history. The worst Premier League team in the history of the competition and the league. That's Wolves. And we smashed them 4-1 last night, but we still allowed them back in the game, which is the worrying bit. And that's what Ruben has made a point of making. United are not going to convince anybody until they beat a Bournemouth and then maybe get through the Villa and Newcastle games. Then we go into Wolves again at home, the last game of the season. That there is then going to be, sorry, last game of the calendar year, not the season. That there is going to be our sort of guide as to where Manchester United are, I think. If we're still in around the position we are now, going into the new year, you could say it's probably just about job done for Rúben Amorim. He's where he needs to be, and he's got a chance there of challenging in the second half of the season to get into the Champions League places. Look, we're only a point off it, and I'm only saying this in league position. That's it. Not in performance, because I'm nowhere near convinced myself as well. But I do get you saying, Brian, I just can't say that they were terrible last night, mate. That's all. I really can't. There was some good interchange and good moments up against the poor side. They should have done more, I thought, but not terrible. Let's accept, this is from Raphael, super chat, thank you, mate. Let's accept this is going to be an up and down. Let's support this team and manager. We can shout and scream. Nothing will be done. It is what it is. United, says Raphael. I'll go on to that in a moment. But Manny has also said, what did impress me is we regrouped and put them to the sword. But when was the last time we did that after conceding late in the half? You can put the Wolves factor into play. The horrible team that Wolves are. Pathetic, as I called them last night. Manchester United did what they should do, and that's something that we don't do. So in terms of what Manny said there, and then obviously what Raphael said, it's an up and down season. Manchester United haven't done what they should do this season often at all. We've scraped by games, we've got wins that we have just about got over the line. In terms of actually doing what was expected, I would say Sunderland 2-0 home win. About level. I think that's what's expected. Wolves last night, 4-1 against a shocking side. Should have been more. We did a job. What we should have done. You could argue that Brighton, we did a job there, but that was exceeding expectations in that game. And that was about it. No one expected what we did against Liverpool. No one expected Crystal Palace. But Manchester United convincingly beating a very, very poor side is level par, really. The only way you get excited about last night is if you scored 7 or 8 goals and gone, well, that actually, we did take advantage of a situation there. It's still a very, very good result, and it gives Manchester United breathing space and another full week's preparation ahead of playing Bournemouth at home. Can they win a home game? That's where we're at right now, I think. And I think all the comments there that have come in this morning have all been in and around that sort of mark. Like, yes, it's good, and Manchester United did what they should do. Can we do it again? Can we move on to the next challenge? Gregory has just renewed his membership. Thank you, mate. Shea Lacey, 18 winger. When will he play? Will he start coming in now after Ruben Amorim leaves for AFCON? Rúben Amorim was talking about the AFCON situation and where the players are now. So Mazraoui might not be available for the Bournemouth game this weekend. He will have to go earlier than Amad and Mbeumo. Now, we have a track record with Cameroon, obviously. Andre Onana, 2 seasons ago, you all remember the private jets, the suit that he was wearing, the Matrix suit. Manchester United trying to keep him for as long as they could. And then he went and played 1 game and came back. Ridiculous scenario. If we can get that for Andre Onana, then I'm sure we can probably get the same for Bryan Mbeumo, unless Cameroon dig their heels in. That is what we're going to find out, according to Rúben Amorim, in the middle of the week. They're communicating with the African nations, countries, and where their players are represented. I think Mazraoui will miss the game against Bournemouth. He is playing the first game of the tournament, so he has to be there. I feel that's looking likely from what's been said. In Mbeumo and Amad, we might scrape through the Bournemouth game. I think we will know probably in tomorrow, Thursday-ish, going off what Ruben said, when Mbeumo and Amad are going to be leaving for AFCON. So that's something that will develop this week, I think, and we'll just keep our eyes on that, because that is going to play a big part. But if you didn't see the news last night as well, encouraging news was that Benjamin Sesko is back training on grass and has a full week now to try and get into first-team training. We might actually see Benjamin Sesko on the bench against Bournemouth on Monday night. Positives there in that one. Squad depth, obviously, is going to be big for Manchester United and pushed to the limit now with AFCON. When you look at it, you go, Mbeumo missing. Big miss. Leading goal scorer for us this season. 7 goals this season for Bryan Mbeumo. Again on the mark last night. And that's hard to replace. But you've got Mason Mount. And Mason Mount last night was absolutely outstanding for Manchester United. And he has taken it upon himself to really show what quality he has got. Is there any chance he could sneak into the Thomas Tuchel England side for the World Cup? He's played with him before. He knows how he plays. He is giving himself a half a chance. He's in the ear of Thomas Tuchel. I don't think he'll make it. There's too many good players ahead of him that I think are definitely going to the World Cup. But Mason Mount to replace Bryan Mbeumo, there's one there. Get your comments in on that. I'm going to come to the comment section on individual players now as well. So get your comments in on certain players from last night as well, please, everybody. So Mason Mount for Bryan Mbeumo. Mazraoui, well, you've seen Aiden Heaven come in. Martinez come in last night. Manchester United's replacements for Mazraoui, it's not going to be as big a miss. And of course, like I just said there, if Mount continues this form, then we are going to be able to probably just about survive Brian Mbeumo. The biggest miss, and don't get me wrong, Ahmad was wasteful last night, I thought. Still productive, but decision-making in the final third, right on the edge of the box, wasn't his best last night. And I had that critique for him. But Ahmad, I think, is probably the hardest one for us to replace. That link up to the front line and who plays there is really going to be difficult for Manchester United. That position is the one that's going to hurt us because the wing-backs have to play well. I mean, Dalot played well last night. And when your wing-backs play well and you've got that threat going forward, then the system is always going to look a lot better. Interesting how we brought Casemiro off and saved him. We're still clinging on to that yellow card. I just feel like he's going to miss one of the bigger games, and that's the big concern for Casemiro in that midfield right now. And we're already thinking ahead to games that certain players are going to be missing that we're really going to struggle in. Villa and Newcastle, to have them games and miss these players is really going to be hard for Manchester United. It's going to be a tough old ask to try and get through them. Let's get through a few more of your comments on this. We need to cut out conceding sloppy goals. You can say that again. As good as the goals for column is, Man United have still conceded 22 goals this season. It's not good enough. It really isn't good enough. They need to cut out the stupidness. The reason Wolves is bad is also because United played with pace and intensity. Yeah, we did. We had the chance to, and we had the chance to continuously do it because Wolves are useless with the ball, which is still baffling me how they managed to score a goal against us. Yes, you could be right. We'll soon see where we are versus Villa and Newcastle. It's the system that worries me, still lacking goals. Third highest goal scorers in the league, Stephen. It's not lacking goals. Away from home, Manchester United have unbeaten in the last 5, winning 3 and drawing 2, and are averaging over 2 goals a game. There isn't a lack of goals. It's conceding goals that's the problem for Manchester United. Conceding stupid goals that's the problem, not scoring them. This is one of our best goal-scoring seasons we've had in a long, long time now. So, yeah, I disagree on the goals scored side of things, definitely. Ray in with another super chat says, yes, Wolves are bad, but let's not forget Wolves have been in the league for a while now, and we have lost to them before. I was terrified of losing to them, and thank football gods we didn't. Yeah, Ruben would not be in a job, I don't think, if we got beat by that Wolves side. That would be the ultimate embarrassment. And we said, didn't we? And I said all along, United will win this game. They will win this game because they're not going to get in the top 4 if they win it. And we always position ourselves just below and just out of it. The 5th opportunity in the big game is going to be Bournemouth. And underperforming Bournemouth, going to Old Trafford, and Manchester United have a 5th chance this season to put themselves in the top 4. This is the big test now. And I think every single Man United fan goes into the game on Monday night at Old Trafford and is like not so much numb to what is going to happen, but I don't think going to get carried away beforehand this time. In the other 2 games, it's been quite upbeat. It's been quite exciting. The atmosphere has been up. The anticipation has been there. I don't think that's going to be there against Bournemouth on Monday. I don't. I think Manchester United fans will sit back a little bit and won't allow themselves to be carried away or get carried away with the situation and the possibility of moving further up this table. I don't think they'll allow themselves to be invested into that. And this is what I've said. After that West Ham game, I'm done in really getting carried away and hoping that Manchester United will be there. I'll talk about the potential situations, the permutations, and what might happen with Manchester United if we win games. But I'm not going to say that this team are going to do it or show us that they can do it. Bournemouth are playing badly at the moment, but we know the threat that they carry. And we know the form that they've got against us at Old Trafford in particular. And our home form has dropped off. Like I said, still cannot believe our away form is better than our home form this season. Albeit, we've played 1 more game. But that away form, the last 5 games, that's impressive considering what Manchester United were doing last season. And the goals we're scoring away from home, you can't really argue with that form. That is top 4 form when you look at the away performances for Manchester United. And it's backed up as well by the fact that if we would have won straightforward games at home against West Ham and Everton, then United would be second in the league, behind Arsenal. That's crazy. But that's why this fan base is not convinced. Because you blew a gasket in trying to beat a low block against two very, very average sides. No disrespect to Everton. They are where they are because they deserve to be. And David Moyes is doing well. But United should be beating a 10-man Everton side. I don't care what anybody says. There's no excuse for them. And that's why United fans are not getting overly excited. And the fact that it was Wolves as well last night. So, yeah, it's good that we've actually got Wolves before the turn of the year as well. Chance to really boost our goal difference going off that. That's, I'll say. So, this next 3 games are the ones now that we've really got to look at and sort of say, can this Man United side without certain players really compete and get the results in? Raphael says, I kept my eye on Mainu last night. He does not lose the ball. Nothing fancy, just the basics. Just didn't see his defensive work. We need to hold on to Mainu's stats last night. I think it was 12 out of 13 passes completed. I think he won all of his duels that he had in that 20-minute spell that he had on the pitch as well. So a good little cameo for Kobbie Mainoo. Probably the most impressive cameo that we've seen from him so far. Again, it's Wolves. And we were in a very, very comfortable position when he came on. So don't get carried away by stats again, is all I'm saying. But you can only say what you see. And it looked like he was actually playing decent. Maybe going up against a whipping boy team like Wolves were last night will give him that little bit of a confidence booster. And he didn't do himself any harm in Ruben Amorim's eyes. Let's just say that. He went on. He did the job he should do. And there we go. Jay Lacey will probably get game time in the FA Cup at Old Trafford. Depends on how the game is going. How did Man United get Brighton in the FA Cup and City get Exeter? Honest to God, that third round draw is always a farce. It really is. It is so disappointing. Gary says, 1 down, 2 to go. Youth Cup tonight against Peterborough at Old Trafford. Then staying overnight in Manchester to go to the Champions League game against Leon at Leeds Sports Village. Yep. For the women, yep. Good, mate. Good on you, Gary. Hope you have a good time, mate, as well. Hopefully you get an all-round 3 wins out of 3, but consistently inconsistent. Just hoping for a point on Monday. You've got to beat Bournemouth because you're going to struggle against Villa and Newcastle. And so if United cannot beat Bournemouth at home, then it just backs up everybody's worst fears, and it backs up everybody's thoughts on Ruben Amorim that this team, there's nothing that he can do to make this team better in them moments. It goes back to what I said in that first half, doesn't it? Like, Ruben didn't tell them players to switch off for 15 minutes. The first half an hour of the game was exactly what Ruben Amorim wanted them to do to a poor Wolves side. And then they switched off on the pitch. Ruben battered them at half time by the sounds of it. And then he came out and completely mullered Wolves in the second half. And that's what we needed. Don't get your hopes up that we will be consistent. That way we will be less disappointed when we drop points. Kieran, that's exactly where United fans are at. And I think that's how I am right now. And how best to explain how I'm going to be going into that Bournemouth game on Monday. Don't get carried away with what's happened against Wolves. Be encouraged by the away form, yes. Take that. But at Old Trafford, United have got a lot of convincing to do. Meron said, after eight games, goal difference away is 14 and 14 and won 12 points. Goal difference at home is 12-8 and won 13 points. No, we haven't, mate. It's more points away from home than it is at home. I think it's the wrong way around, that one, mate. I'll double check on that later, but yeah, I'm sure I read it the other way. But it is still better, I think, because we've recovered from them both Brentford and Manchester City games, and I think we have really turned the corner away from home. We actually do play better away from home, Manchester United. There seems to be more of a togetherness away from home, battle hardened. Maybe it's because teams away from home are expected to attack us, and at Old Trafford they just come and just hit us with the low block and wait for Man United to implode. which we have done in the last 2 occasions, he has to figure out a way of playing. And maybe that's what Ruben said. And that's what he meant by what he said, sorry. Maybe finding a different way for Manchester United to play is going to help us get through this season. Away from home, it seems to be working for United. The goals are going in and the commitment is there. At home, I don't know if it's a nervousness or whether it's just a sheer mental block when playing in front of the home fans. It used to be good at the start of the season. Home form was great. And then it's just fallen off a cliff in the last 2 games. And we've gone back to last season's form. That's not good enough. Well, if Bruno wasn't in sabotaging, he wouldn't have missed those pens beginning of the season. Also, these refs hate us. It's like they grew up supporting clubs we used to smash and now they're bitter. I can't call Bruno sabotaging. I mean, the man got another assist and 2 goals last night. I mean, it's not the right time to actually call out Bruno Fernandes. Let's see if he does it against the bigger teams coming up, and then I think the critique will come back in on Bruno there. It's the Premier League. We are not going to dominate any team for 90 minutes. It's unrealistic to expect that opposition teams are not going to get phases in games. It's how we cope with these. Well, Ruben Amorim said the same thing, but there was no excuse for Manchester United switching off last night and allowing ourselves, like I said with Brian and Mbumo, conceding possession and gifting chances to Wolves last night on 2 occasions in that first half. That's not acceptable, and that's the problem. Be more clinical up front, like we should have been, and then moments don't happen because other teams don't feel the confidence in bringing themselves back into the game. There is no momentum for Wolves if you are 3-0 up. If they score 1 after we've gone 3-0 up like we should have in that first half, yes, it's annoying, but it doesn't shift the momentum like it has done in the previous 3 away games for Manchester United. It's ridiculous how this keeps on happening to us. We need to be 90 minutes concentration more than anything. Don't gift the opposition opportunities. Don't give them their moments, is what I'm saying. I am way more positive after yesterday. I think they will beat Bournemouth. I feared that they could lose against Wolves. And this was the thing yesterday. It's like people making excuses for Manchester United before that game kicked off. A draw would be a good result. Absolute lemons. Honestly, we all know that this is the worst team in Premier League history. If United didn't win this game alone, it was a sackable offence. United were always going to batter Wolves yesterday. And people actually thought that Manchester United might get beat or a draw was a good result. Yes, anything can happen in football, but come on. That is an absolutely shocking Wolves side who have nothing, who didn't have their better player in midfield in João Gomez either. That there was exactly how I expected the game to go. I predicted 3-1 to Man United. Thought that's what it would be. Adam, you got us half-time arrogant in the extreme. Second half, a big improvement. I never doubted Mason Mount once. He could get fit and stay injury-free. Well, he's played Mason Mount this season, by the way, just to bring him up again. 15 Premier League games. He's been available for 14. He's been in the matchday squad for 14 games straight this season. Not straight, sorry. 14 out of the 15 this season. He's played in 12 Premier League games this season. 3 goals in the Prem, by the way. It's not a bad return for somebody who everybody had forgotten about. If he keeps that up this season, he could be hitting double figures in the Premier League. And that's all you can ask for a number 10. That is important. If he gets 9 to 10 goals, Bruno gets his 10 to 15 goals. Brian Mbumo might get closer to 20. Cunha starts chipping in with maybe 10 as well. Sesko might get to 10. Then you're looking there. Ahmad goals as well. All of them contributions will be why Manchester United are actually competing at the top. Defensively, they just need to sort it out. And the midfield is always going to be a hindrance for Manchester United this season. It always will be, in them bigger games in particular. So Ruben Amorim, again, always keep going back to that start of the show comment that we talked about. Ruben Amorim saying we need to find a different way to play is 100% dead right. We need to be better. And there has to be a different way that we play other teams. It's not always going to be the same against every single team. There has to be another way of playing different opponents, and you have to change it. So, look, words are words. Again, I'm not getting carried away with words. I'll believe it when I see it. And I will look at Manchester United when we play Bournemouth, see if there is any differences there, if there is a different approach. I fully expect Bournemouth to try and take the game to United and blow United away. That is Iraola's style, and he did it to us the last 2 times at Old Trafford. We actually perform better at Bournemouth than we do at Old Trafford against the Cherries. So we'll see how Ruben approaches this one. Will he have learnt from last season? Will he have learnt from Manchester United completely capitulating? Because this time of the year, last season, was when everything started to spiral out of control for Manchester United. It was horrible watching United going into December last season. It was pathetic, to be honest. It was. It really was. Carl in the chats there. Good result yesterday, but Wolves are that bad. There is really very little to take from the game. We weren't even really fully in control of that game on the ball versus the worst team there has ever been. The second half we was in control completely. First half we allowed it to get away from us, which was the disappointing bit. Don't know why people are so fixated on the system when we lose points by not converting the many chances we create and through individual defensive mistakes. The system is a problem because you're supposed to control the game. And like Carl's just made a point of there, Kieran, it probably is the perfect comeback from that, really, is that you've got to control the game more. And when you're not in control, you can create chances. Yes, you can, out of spur of the moment. And that's what United have been in moments this season. If you don't take them chances, not controlling the game a little bit more brings you the Spurs game, brings you the Forest game. That sort of moment creeps in. And that is where Manchester United have always fallen. They haven't controlled games. And I'm not saying dominate games and complete control of possession and things like that, because United's possession stats are actually right up there. It's controlling phases in games and moments, like taking advantage of when you're on top and creating chances. Yes, converting chances is important, but not giving stupid possession away like we do. And when we're only 1-0 up, this absolute mental breakdown that we have, the mentality of these players when we're 1-0 up, needs to go. Because we've done it in so many games now. In the last, let's just say, the last 9 games. By the way, just to throw another positive in, that's 1 defeat in the last 9 for Manchester United. Whichever way you want to look at it and try and bring it down, the results are there. Manchester United have lost 1 of the last 9, so it's not horrendous. But the games that Manchester United have been 1-0 up in, you look at it, the Forest game, give that away. Spurs game, give that away as well. The West Ham game, give that away. Last night, we nearly did it against Wolves as well. As soon as we go 1-0 up, we just seem to switch off. And that's the concentration level thing that we're worried about and concerned about, I think, as a fan base. It's just not fully there all of the time, and that's the big problem. Adam, goalkeeper not making the headlines every week in a bad way. That's a big improvement for this team. Not spoken enough about. A big upgrade with Lamens. Good point. I think we have spoken about it. I said it, I think, a few shows ago, and the fact that Lamens is in, Vitek is coming back into Manchester United in the summer. No more goalkeeper drama for the next decade. Solid. Absolutely solid. And look, since Senna Lamens has started for Manchester United, it has been them 9 games, and we've lost 1. And that was criminal against Everton, which we never should have lost. That is improvements in the goalkeeping area. And at least we can put that to bed. Forward line, we're actually scoring plenty of goals, so we can actually say that we're doing well there. I would like another centre forward, by the way. And that would make me feel a lot more comfortable. Wing-backs are important, midfielders, obviously. Interesting now that Leach got a good 30 minutes plus last night, whether he is in line for a start in place of Mazraoui. Who is going to come in? In fact, here's a question right now. Who is your back 3? Because Heaven didn't do himself any... Heaven... What's the right saying? I've got it completely back to front now as well. Heaven did himself the power of good, let's just say that, in his performance last night. I thought it was accomplished. Ruben Amorim actually praised Aiden Heaven and said he likes watching him on the ball. That's key for Ruben. Little subtle comments from Ruben Amorim that we need to watch out for. That's one of them. On the ball. Heaven is very good. That's what Ruben likes. He likes assertive. He likes forward thinking, ball carrying centre-backs. It works in his system. They have to be good on the ball. And Aiden Heaven getting that sort of praise definitely is a positive for him. He is a real weapon for United, but Leach are coming back. Then you've got De Ligt and Maguire also to come back. You've got Yoro sat on the bench as well. Luke Shaw isn't really doing anything wrong at the moment for United. I thought his aggressiveness last night again was exemplary for Manchester United. So honestly, it's hard to pick a backline at the moment. Heaven's put himself in there. Then Leach has come back. Mazraoui is out now. So you've got 6 centre-backs to pick from for this system. I don't know who he goes with. I don't know what the right combination is. You tell me. It's up to you in the chat, everybody. Who is your backline? Do you bring Maguire right back in now? Heaven has done good. Leach is back. Shaw cannot be dropped, can he, with the way that he's playing? I still can't believe Luke Shaw is available. We're heading into the new year and Shaw is still available for Man United. Let that sink in for a little minute. A little minute. It's strange, but all these mistakes and all the problems we're having conceding goals when you've got all of these quality defenders, it just goes to show you that the system doesn't quite fit. Because these players are good players. And we've got an abundance of centre-backs available now. So it does kind of show that the system is really at fault in a way, doesn't it? And that's not me having a dig. I'm trying to figure out how we have conceded so many goals. Individual mistakes, yes. Switch-off moments, like Ruben said, definitely. I think we should be at least 6 or 7 goals less conceded this season from individual meltdown moments, that is. I think that's where Manchester United are in terms of the goals conceded area of the game. It's good to see a little bit more positivity in the chat as well this morning. Shaw, De Ligt and Yoro, says Maron. I don't know. Martinez, De Ligt and Yoro. I think, you know what? Out of all of the players, I think Yoro is the one that is probably going to be the most concerned and worried out of all of them. I love Yoro. I think he will be a great defender for Man United. I do believe that he has got absolute qualities. I feel like Aiden Heaven has come on the scene out of nowhere for that cheap price. He is a real weapon for Manchester United. And he's good in the air as well, Aiden Heaven. He's very good in the air, and that goes unnoticed. But his defensive play and comfortableness on the ball, I think, is what Ruben likes as well. His positional play is decent. And I thought, again, against the shite Wolves side, sorry for swearing in the morning, but that's the only way I can describe that team. Absolutely awful. It was easy enough for him. So I think Ruben's got some decisions to make. It's not the defence that's the problem, though. The reason we are conceding too many goals stems from our midfield, and it's why we will finish mid-table. A Jekyll and Hyde scenario. Well, I hope you're wrong on that, but I see where you're going with it, Mr. Dacia Sandero. The season is a yo-yo, and the season is a very strange one, to say the least. And like we've just described there, when you look at that Premier League table, Manchester United can be in the top 4 after this weekend, or we can be back down in the bottom half again, going off the results. But when you do look at the games coming up, just wanted to make a point of this, because it's Champions League week and this will get forgotten about. But the games coming up, say for instance, like looking at the table now, Man United are in 6th. We are a point off Chelsea in 5th and 1 point off Crystal Palace in 4th. Then it's Villa on 30, City 31, Arsenal 33, as we know. Below us, we have Everton, 1 point, Brighton 2, Sunderland 2, Liverpool 2, Tottenham 3, Newcastle 3, and then Bournemouth, who we play, 5 points away from us. So when you look at it, from 5th down to 13th, there's 5 points separating all of them teams. Looking at the games this weekend is a great opportunity for Manchester United. Again, just win a home game, United, please. Just win a home game. Chelsea-Everton, that's 5th against 7th. 2 teams either side of us going to be taking points off each other, or at least one dropping away. Liverpool against Brighton, two of the teams that are just below us on 23 points, playing each other on Saturday. Then you've got Crystal Palace against Manchester City. That's second against fourth. More points dropped by teams in and around us. Timeway Derby, Sunderland versus Newcastle. Two teams within a point either side of us that are going to take points off each other as well. I don't fancy Tottenham's chances away at Nottingham Forest. You never know what West Ham is going to turn up against Aston Villa, especially with Villa playing in Europe this week. Let's not forget it's one defeat in the last 5 for West Ham now, when you look at their form. And then you've got Man United playing Bournemouth after all of that's happened on the Monday night. It's set up for us again. And that's the biggest worry. Because it is set up for United, and we are expecting that usual Old Trafford capitulation when the top 4 carrot is dangled in front of us. That's where we're all at, isn't it? I'm expecting United to blow it. That's my mindset going into the Bournemouth game, and I hope I'm wrong. I'm just going to play. It's not so much reverse psychology mode with the game, thinking that United are going to lose and then we win. It's not that. I'm past all of that. I'm past everything, like I said, after that West Ham game where I'm going to get overly excited about the potential. I'll talk about it like I just did. But again, that there is a convincer for me that Manchester United will end up bottling it for some strange reason. So let's see if they can learn a different way of playing, handle certain scenarios. We've seen too many tiny little false dawns this season for Manchester United to be overly excited about the potential of finishing this weekend in that top 4, because that is there. That is there for United if they want it this week. And they'll know it. And do you know what? Half of me thinks that they're sat on it now for a week. That's why they struggle with it. They're already thinking that if we win this game, that's where we're going to be. And it's a week preparation ahead. They should be studying every single Bournemouth player's qualities and capabilities, how they've played. Study Bournemouth from the start of this season when they were flying. Get that done. Look, I'm talking about things here that professionals and professional setups should do day in, day out. But you look at that and you go, you've got a week to prepare for this. You've got a week to prepare for Bournemouth. And I'm not being funny. Bournemouth's form is shocking at the moment. They've picked up 2 points out of 15 in the last 5 games. They're on a horrendous run. And Semenyo's fallen completely out of form as well. They are right down there. They're only 5 points off the relegation zone, Bournemouth, right now. I'm not trying to build up a case here to say that this is a game that United should go out and win, because Bournemouth are very, very dangerous. And don't get me wrong, if they win, they're 2 points behind us. So it's the Premier League table. Is it kidding us? Is it fooling us right now with what's happening? I've honestly never seen a season like it. When you look at West Ham, they're in the relegation zone on 13 points. They're only 7 behind the likes of Bournemouth. If they get a good result this weekend and Bournemouth lose, then it's only 4 points from them. And that's how different a weekend can be. The only gap that's really appearing in the Premier League right now is between 3rd and 4th. Now that's 26 points to Palace and 30 to Villa. That's the biggest gap anywhere in the table when you look from first all the way down to the bottom. That's the biggest gap. So Burnley on 10 points, Wolves on 2, 8-point gap there from 19th to 20th. Everywhere else, it's a couple of points all the way through, apart from Villa being 4 points clear of Villa being 4 points clear of Palace. That's it. That's what's open. Can United take advantage of that, or will they drop and fail again on that one? Manny with the super chats. How did it get to that time? My God. Right. Okay. Top 4 is decided by the teams with momentum in March and April. It's too early to be hopeful. I get it though. Well, you can't get top 4 at this stage of the season, but you can take yourself out of it by playing crap and having too much to do, mate. So you've got to be in it. If you're in and around it, then you can talk about your run in March and April. But if you fall completely away, a run won't get you there, will it? So I think it's staying in the top 4 fight now, which is where we're at. And that's what we need to do. So keep on winning the games. Look, sorry I haven't got to everyone's comments there. I didn't realise how long the bleeding show had gone on for. I do apologise, everybody. I will leave you to it. I will be back later on with any updates. If anything does come out, please drop your comments in below and let me know your thoughts on last night and where United are going forward now. Ruben Amorim's quote about changing the way that we play. Is that important? Get in there. Thank you for all the super chats, mods. Great job again. Thank you for all the comments, everybody. It's nice to be a positive on a Tuesday morning, even though it's lashing it down outside. United got the win. We're into 6, and we can look ahead to another exciting weekend in the Premier League. Thankfully, this weekend coming. Give the video a like on the way out. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all later on. Have a great day, everyone.